Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to discussion of drunkenness certificate. This is one common exercise asked in your FMT practicals. So you must know the proforma, what you mean by drunkenness, differential diagnosis, and the very important the examination part, and lastly the opinion. So let's start with the drunkenness. The first thing you should know what you mean by drunkenness. Drunkenness is a condition, a clinical condition produced in a person, produced in a person, male or female, who has taken alcohol, was taken alcohol. As you know, alcohol is a CNS depressant. The legal limit of alcohol 30 milligram percentage in India. In a sufficient quantity to cause him to lose control of his mental and physical faculties. Mental and physical faculties to such an extent that he is unable to execute safely the occupation in which he is engaged at the particular time. So, one example driving. Legal limit of alcohol for drink and drive according to Motor Vehicle Act, it is 30 milligram percentage. So, this is the definition you need to memorize. This can be asked. Define drunkenness. Next question can be differential diagnosis. Some condition they resemble like drunkenness. Some clinical condition. What are they? Head injury. What is that head injury condition? Resemble like drunkenness. Can you answer? It is extradural hemorrhage. Cerebral tumor, hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia, basically electrolyte imbalance, thyrotoxicosis, delirium. What is delirium? Disturbed consciousness. Can you name one deliriant? Datura. Uremia. There can be signs and symptoms resemble like drunkenness. Carbon monoxide poison, insulin overdosage, barbiturate poison, narcotics like opium, antidepressant, antihistamines. So, all these are differential diagnosis of drunkenness. So, with this introduction, now let's start with the proforma. You must know what is the standard proforma. So, it's a very important evidence to prove a crime, and it is submitted in court of law as an evidence. So, this is the standard drunkenness certificate. Let's discuss each line briefly so that you can pass your upcoming exam with good mark. Let's start with the proper drunkenness certificate. OPD number or inpatient department number that you can write, MLC number, medico legal case number, name, age, sex, address brought by. The important is consent. The consent taken. Okay, but here there are 2 points to be mentioned. Detained person, written consent is needed, but under 53(1) CRPC, the consent is not needed. 53(1) CRPC. Then whether the person is under arrest, yes or no. Date and time of arrest, date and time of examination, identification marks. So 10 points in the preliminary details. Next, brief history. That is, as stated by patient, if he is conscious, if he is unconscious, then you can take history from accompanied person, specify his name and relation. So you need to write some point about alcohol related, type of beverage, the quantity, the amount taken, time of consumption, consumed with food or not, gargling with mouthwash, etc. Then any medical condition you can mention if it is there. Then the general examination. You can start with the build and nourishment, height, weight, pulse, BP, temperature. Orientation. That is important point. Whether disoriented to time, place and person. Smell of alcohol from the mouth. The important point. The smell of alcohol from breath. Present or absent. State of clothing. Whether he is properly dressed or whether there is a soiling of the clothes. Speech. Whether normal speech. Thick slurred speech. Stuttering speech, confused, aggressive, or over precise. Then eye examination, that is, whether there is a conjunctival chemosis, pupillary size, dilated, contracted, normal, response to light, then visual field and visual acuity, and also test for nystagmus. So, this is one important part of examination. This can be asked in your exam. The presence of alcohol gaze nystagmus, horizontal nystagmus. So that is seen at around 80 milligram percentage of blood level alcohol. Then medical condition we discussed already. Then the very important component is the clinical neuromuscular examination. Whether he is under the influence or not, that can be determined with these tests. What are the tests? Muscular coordination test, finger to nose test. That is, you need to go through that. How to do that? They can ask you in exam. Demonstrate finger to nose test, finger to finger test. You need to demonstrate sometime in your exam. Then picking a pencil from the floor. That shows that whether there is a muscle coordination, in coordination, gait, then reaction time. As you know, the reaction time is more in when he is under influence. Romberg test. Okay, Romberg test also positive in case of cerebellar disease. Any injuries on the body? If any bruise, abrasion that is there, you need to mention. Then systemic examination, CVS, pulse rate and BP and other RS about the respiratory rate, slow, slurred, shallow breathing, deep breathing like that. CNS, reflexes, depressed reflexes. Per abdomen examination, if any liver cirrhosis, in case of chronic alcoholics, hepatomegaly, fatty liver. So, in the 15th point. Then the collection of materials for analysis. Sometimes I can ask how to collect the materials for analysis. That we'll discuss at the end. Then the final diagnosis. Final diagnosis can be 3. From examination, I am of the opinion that one possibility, there is nothing to suggest that the person has consumed alcohol. Second thing, the person has consumed alcohol but not under the influence of alcohol. Third, the person has consumed alcohol is under influence. So these 3 are possible opinion. It all based on the findings which are there in the previous examination, that is. Then finally all this signature, name, designation, registration number, place, date. Now how to give opinion? So the standard is has not consumed alcohol, we say has not consumed alcohol when there is no smell of alcohol or in the breath. All the clinical findings are normal. Visual acuity normal. Laboratory analysis is negative for alcohol. So this is opinion 1 that we ask usually in exam. Second, has consumed alcohol but not under influence of it. So when there is a persistent smell is there, breath smell of alcohol, congestion of eyes, dilated pupils with normal reaction to light, absence of signs of muscle coordination or muscle incoordination. Laboratory analysis is positive for alcohol. So this is opinion number 2, has consumed alcohol but not under influence. Then finally, has consumed alcohol, is under influence of it. So there will be persistent smell, congestion of eyes, dilated pupil, along with definitive signs of muscle incoordination, slurred speech, staggering gait, and laboratory analysis also positive for alcohol. So this is opinion number 3. This is how we analyze the patient and give opinion. Then what is the format for sending alcohol and urine for alcohol estimation? All the preliminary details you need to mention. Samples preserved, basically the blood. How much blood is needed? The 10 ml of venous blood with 100 milligram of sodium fluoride. The question can be asked, mechanism of sodium fluoride. It inhibits enolase enzyme of glycolysis. Then potassium oxalate is the anticoagulant. Date and time of collection, that you need to mention. Second, urine. 30 ml of urine. That is the first sample. Then second sample. That is, so 2 samples you need to take. Then preservative is thymol or 1 ml of concentrated hydrochloric acid. So this is how we send the alcohol, that is estimation, especially the blood and urine, to forensic science laboratory in vacutainers. So this is how we write and we give opinion in case of drunkenness certificate. Thank you.